The TikTokification of hobbies is disgusting. I believe in escaping the beaten path, living differently, and living for what fulfills you. That's why I can't stand this current way of living, where no one has anything that they truly enjoy for themselves just for the love of doing it, and instead, everything has to be a competition, everything has to be validated by social media, everything has to be overconsumed, and everything has to be an inconvenience rather than something you can appreciate. I turned 27 about a month ago, and I realized a third of my life is probably over. A lot of my viewers are in a similar age range to me, 20s and 30s, and so a third of your life is probably also over, babe. That is assuming we make it to the point where we get to die of old age, because not everybody does. Best case scenario, a third of what you're going to do, you've already done. So how have you spent that time? Has enjoyment been a factor at all? Because I'm really starting to doubt it with the way that things are looking. I believe this society is a little bit of a scam. It is not built with our best interests in mind, and that's why we have to take things into our own hands. The first big issue is hobby talk, or just TikTok for your hobbies. And the biggest one that I see, because I have a reading as a hobby, is book talk. I am constantly inundated with, first of all, AI, but second of all, with these videos of people enjoying things. But book talk, which is supposed to be a fun little place for people to share their hobby of reading, share their hobby of learning, share the expansion of their minds, has instead become a consumerist competition. I do not read 100 books in a year. I have no interest in doing that. But that is like the book talk thing. Can you read about 2 books a week? Why would you? Why would you? And people are getting more into audiobooks, not because they like audiobooks, but just because it's faster. They want to consume as much content as quickly as possible, and whether or not they're actually enjoying that process is not relevant. There's also, like, don't even get me started about the overconsumption on whatever your hobby is talk. Book talk in particular, why do you have a library? Why do you have a library in your house of books that you've never read? You're not a bookstore. You're not a librarian. You're a regular girly. Like, why is this not enough? Like, I really wonder where some people in our society would be without consumption. If they didn't have the option to just buy a bunch of crap that they do not need and honestly don't even want, what would they do with their lives? But I can't knock TikTok too much. I can't even stop there, because YouTube, a platform that I am always on and that I love, has this insanely annoying habit of making it that anyone on YouTube who is doing anything, and I mean anything, must be making money from it. Like, there's YouTube itself. If your YouTube doesn't blow up in a year and you don't start making 6 figures and you don't get huge brand deals and all that, there's literally no reason to be here, according to other YouTubers. But then outside of the platform, just everything on here is for the sake of profit. Like, you can't just read a book. You have to come out with a bookmark line or a reading journal. Why do you need a journal to read? Just read the book. I didn't know that you needed to take that many notes. You're not even reading it. You're just listening to it on 3x speed so that you can get through your 100 books for the year. So how do you plan on filling out that reading journal when you don't even remember what happened in the story? I have always been an artist. You can see this in the history of my channel. And it's not good enough right now for me to just simply draw or paint something for the sake of drawing or painting something. I have to make it monetizable. I have to put it on Etsy. I have to produce a zine. I have to, like, everything that you want to do needs to bring you money. Otherwise, there's no reason to do it. Why are you just playing video games? Why wouldn't you stream that and ask for money on your stream? Why are you going for a bike ride when you could stream that as well? Or you could launch a bicycle tire line. Like, I'm pretty sure most people have jobs. Most people have a way of financially feeding themselves. So can we just enjoy something? I know I'm starting my business. I know I've got my Dream Life Diaries with starting my business as a focus, but my business is not my hobbies. Like, I like notebooks, and stationery is going to be the focus of the business. It's something that I like, but I have other stuff that I like. It has nothing to do with my business. You will never, ever, 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 ever see me selling crochet unless I make it to a point where I've just hobbied enough stuff that I can't put it anywhere. And I'm just selling it to get it out of my space. But it's not going to be my job because it's a hobby. It's something I do to enjoy, not something I do to feed myself. Then there's the loss of fitness, the loss of physical aptitude in this society. I live in the great US of A. I don't know where my viewers are, but I'm in America, and I very rarely see a child outside. I know for a fact there are kids in my neighborhood because Halloween happened recently. I saw them. But the vast majority of those kids I have never seen exit their house. The ones that I have seen outside are out there for like an hour or two once a week. I don't want to just compare and say that I am automatically better, but I did grow up in a time before computers and phones and social media was huge. I grew up in a time when going outside was the thing for kids to do. My entire childhood was spent either drawing or being outside, like riding bikes or playing with my friends, playing with my brothers. There wasn't really much else that I cared about, and I just kind of wish the current kids had that. Like, nothing against Cocomelon, I guess. It seems to be doing something for society, but there's so much to be gained in just enjoying the sunlight, in jumping rope, in like playing on the monkey bars, in making friends in your neighborhood. There's so much to be gained from not only being able to, but it being common to step outside and do something physical with yourself. And I just don't really think kids have that, and it's kind of sad, but I can't even just judge the kids because the adults don't have that either. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but people used to go for jogs. Adults used to be outside. Adults rode bikes. Like, adults used to do things. And now fitness is not seen as something to do for the health of your body. It's not seen as something to do just for the fun of whatever activity it is. It's something to do so that you can look better. Fitness is looks maxing. If you're not doing hip thrusts, there's no reason for a woman to enter the gym. If you're not doing chest presses or whatever this is, there's no reason for a man to enter the gym. Forget rock climbing. Forget I take a gymnastics class. Forget that. You're spending $100 a month to be physically fit and have fun. Why? Why? When you could be in the sauna and you could be doing squats. Why? Forget rec league sports. Let go of dance classes. Like, all of it is worthless if your fitness is not, number one, making you money as a fitness influencer, or number two, making you hotter by doing only the mass gain exercises that will make your butt or your hips wider or your biceps bigger. If that's not what you're doing, you're wasting your freaking time. Apparently it's not worth it to be physically healthy or to just have fun playing a sport or doing an activity that you like. I've let go of dating for the past few months. It's been very peaceful, not worrying about it, but I still remember what dating was like. And I still remember how I've had to add has hobbies to my list of desires for the ideal partner because it was so common when meeting new men. And honestly, I say men because I date men, but this happens with meeting new people in general. It was so common to ask, so what do you like to do? And they have literally no way of answering that question. The only thing they like to do is scroll TikTok and sleep. I say they as if I've never been in this position. I have my phases where nothing interests me, but that's called depression, not a regular life. I'm sorry. Like, you guys, we can do so much better for ourselves. So we all have nothing that we like. We all have the few things that we liked turned into commodities for money or attention. We all have the few things that we liked turned into a competition for overconsumption. We all have the few things that we liked removed from social spaces, removed from personal enjoyment, removed from any sense of fulfillment unless it's paying some billionaire's bills. And then we all wonder, why is there a loneliness epidemic? Why are people dying faster? Why is everybody so depressed? I don't want to act like I'm above it all, because I'm not. One thing's for certain and two things for sure, I will be on YouTube. I will be on YouTube scrolling videos, but I have installed an app that makes it so that I can only watch a limited amount of YouTube shorts. But it does keep me on track, and I'm able to keep my attention span from withering away into dust, and I'm therefore able to pay attention to the books that I like to read, to be able to pay attention to the crochet project that I'm working on, to have the motivation to start up new fun projects like some YouTube videos that I want to film, or some art that I want to work on, or a business that I'm building. And if you are not quite yet there, I really encourage you to consider what it is that you do with your time, what it is that you've spent the third of your life that has passed doing. And if it's not bringing yourself fulfillment and joy, do you really want to spend the next 2/3, all of the life that you have left, continuing down that same path. You don't need a phone. You don't need to start a business based off everything that you like to do. You don't need to buy anything else. What you need is to figure out what you really enjoy and lean into it. What you need is to take your life back. So I want to talk about reading, as I have this visual example and I keep bringing it up. I just recently read this, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This book is all over book talk. But again, I don't have TikTok, so I've never been influenced to read anything on my shelf. Even though I have also read Shadow and Bone, I've never been influenced to read anything off of TikTok or influencers. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue was recommended to me from a friend in a writing group, because writing is another one of my hobbies. Shadow and Bone, nobody recommended this to me, and I didn't even buy this. I got this, as well as about half the books on my shelf, from a Little Book library. Little Book libraries are resources in California where you can leave a book and take a book to like get something new in your library. But there is one near me that is constantly full because it's in a neighborhood. So lots of like the kids, the people around, it's in a big neighborhood. So people are constantly putting books in there. So sometimes they'll have signs up of like, just take it. Don't leave a book, just take one. And I took Shadow and Bone. I have also been able to enjoy books I usually wouldn't. My friends know that I like reading, and so as a result, when I want to hang out with my friends, sometimes we do hobby stuff together. Once I went out with my friends, we went to the mall, and there was a used bookstore in the mall. My friends know I liked reading, so they dragged me in there, and I bought this. Nobody had to influence me. I didn't buy 700 books and this was the first one I just so happened to pick up. I have this book because I have friends who I hang out with. I've also learned a lot from the books that I've read. This one was recommended to me by my therapist. Books are a place of enjoyment and a place of knowledge. Reading is a slow process for me. I don't need to or want to read 100 books a year. I have no reading goals. I don't need goals for a hobby. It's something I do for fun. Do you have YouTube goals? Do you have TikTok scrolling goals? No, then you don't need goals for your hobbies either. I read when I want to read. I finish what I finish. I pick up what I pick up, and I have fun with it. That's all you need to be doing. So I encourage you guys to lean into the things that you liked to do as a kid. Those are your hobbies. Those are your interests. Try out new things that you've never considered before, and try to find the things that bring you fulfillment, the things that bring you joy. Those two key words are very important to me in my life, and they should be important to yours. When you find those things, enjoy them. Enjoy them uninfluenced, enjoy them unmonetized, and enjoy them slowly. Let your hobbies be something for you, not something you have to grind out for the sake of gain. All that you're meant to gain from this is fulfillment. If you feel disillusioned with life and want something better for yourself, this channel is the place where we'll be discussing things like that. So go ahead and hit subscribe to see more videos like this, more discussions, help, how-tos, and vlogs of me building my dream life and taking you along the journey. If you like this video, click on these ones that are appearing. You'll like those too. They're very similar. And I'll see you guys in a couple of days, actually, for our next upload. Until then, toodaloo. I like to give you a little bit of time to click.